Charles Duhigg, the author of The Power of Habit, once struggled with an afternoon cookie habit. Every day at 3 p.m., he would walk to the cafeteria, buy a cookie, and chat with co workers. Over time, he gained weight and realized he needed to break the habit. Instead of just forcing himself to stop, he analyzed what triggered the behavior. Was it hunger, boredom, a need for social interaction, perhaps? Through self experimentation, he discovered that what he really craved wasn't the cookie, it was the break and socializing. So he replaced the habit. Instead of heading to the cafeteria, he walked to a co worker's desk and chatted for a few minutes. The craving was satisfied without the cookie, and the habit disappeared. This small change led to a greater awareness of how habits form and how to reshape them effectively. If you want to break free from your bad habits, watch till the end. Use triggers to your advantage. Use triggers to your advantage. Have you ever been addicted to something? Whether it was a game, an app, or any activity. And after quitting it for a while, you suddenly realize, what was I doing with all that time? Even if you enjoyed it at the time. Looking back, you might think, that was excessive. The simple answer, my friend, is that you were part of a psychological experiment on behavior modification without even knowing it. And here's the thing, you might still be a victim of this experiment in some form without realizing it. One of the biggest challenges we face is failing to build good habits while struggling to break bad ones. We often find that our bad habits persist effortlessly, while good habits require deliberate effort. Take a moment and focus on your life today. Every detail of your current situation is largely the result of the habits you have practiced over the past months or years, whether that period was 5 years, 10 years, or even more. Now, here's something crucial. Your future life will be shaped by the habits you develop today. And the tricky part, most of our habits run on autopilot. Let me explain. According to the book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, about 95% of our daily actions are performed unconsciously. This means that majority of what you do, your morning routine, your daily commute, your choice of meals, happens without you even thinking about it. These are all habits deeply embedded in your subconscious mind. If your programmed habits push you toward improvement, you will find yourself in a better place a year from now. But if your habits work against you, a year from now, you'll be worse off. That's the power of habits. Now, let's address a common misconception. You cannot develop a new habit without first replacing an old one. And you cannot eliminate a habit without substituting it with another. Imagine your daily routine as a full cup of water. If you try to add more water, some will inevitably spill out. Likewise, when you eliminate an old habit, you need to replace it with a new one to fill the gap. Let's say your bad habit is checking your phone first thing in the morning. I'm guilty of this too. Many people do this not just because it wastes time, but because it sets a negative tone for the day. If your first hour is filled with social media posts, news, and updates, it can impact your mood for the rest of the day. So you decide, tomorrow I won't check my phone first thing in the morning. Great, but what happens next? You don't replace it with a new activity. You will likely find yourself lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling lost, and soon enough you'll go back to your phone out of habit. The key is to replace it with something else, perhaps stretching, exercising, or reading. The same principle applies to exercise. Many people find going to the gym difficult because their daily routine is mostly centered around comfort. The gym, being physically demanding, feels like an overwhelming challenge. Here's how you can make it easier. Break the process into smaller habits. Instead of seeing the gym as a daunting task, start with simple steps. Putting on your workout clothes in the morning, preparing your gym bag the night before, or even committing to just 5 minutes of daily exercise. These tiny adjustments make the habit feel more manageable. James Clear, in Atomic Habits, explains that to make a habit stick, you must make it easy. The fewer steps required, the more likely you are to follow through. If going to the gym requires 10 different actions, you will likely find an excuse to skip it. But if you reduce it to 2 or 3 steps, it becomes effortless. Ultimately, the first step in changing any habit is to become aware of it. Once you consciously recognize a bad habit, you can take action to replace it. You go from unconsciously performing a bad habit to consciously recognizing it, then actively changing it, and finally making the new habit second nature. To shift from autopilot to conscious living, follow these practical steps. Identify your habits, track your daily routines for 24 hours. Analyze the patterns, which habits serve you, which ones hold you back. Replace, not erase. Introduce new, positive habits that fulfill the same reward system as the negative ones. Use triggers to your advantage. Attach new habits to existing ones for a smoother transition. Stay consistent. Small repeated actions lead to lasting change. Challenge for you. For the next 24 hours, write down everything you do automatically. You will be shocked by what you discover. Awareness is the first step to transformation. Once you see your patterns clearly, you gain the power to reshape your future. And don't forget, be different because you deserve to be the best. Please subscribe and share with your friends, and see you in the next video.